We gawk, we talk, this is All Walks of Film. Hi, I'm Ren.
And I'm Casey.
And welcome to the show. Today we're going to be talking about the entire season of Game of Thrones. Note, we're only going to be talking about the show, not the books. And if you've read the books, please don't spoil it for people who haven't read the books and don't know what's coming up.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about all of Season 5, all 4 episodes of it.
Yeah. Season 5 was kind of slow.
Well, right now, spoilers for the whole season. If you haven't seen it yet, don't listen. But my theory, and this is just a theory, is the reason why everything was so good in the last couple episodes and why the whole rest of the season was really dragging when they could have spread it out over time is I've heard that the Walk of Atonement alone cost like $6 million. Now,
To put a body double on Lena Headey's.
no, like to do the whole scene because they had to have a really long film set and they had to hire a shit ton of extras who all had to be clothed and they had to pay a lot of money to use naked people in the scenes too.
Okay.
So like to get the permits to do that and all that sort of thing. So if that scene is $6 million worth, which is not that's way more than the normal price of an episode, I believe. I'm not sure. Imagine how much money went into the White Walker scene. Like really think about it for a second. Like that must have been I don't have any figure, but I'm speculating that must have been insanely expensive. So when you have like those two major bank busting moments, it really is gonna suck it out of the whole rest of your season, you know?
Well, also we had the moment with Khaleesi flying.
That was really cheap. There was a lot of compositing and green screen, which is fine, and I'm not saying it looks bad, but I'm saying the cost of that scene was not nearly as high as the cost of the other scenes towards the end of the season.
Well, the White Walker invasion was a combination of practical effects and special effects.
Yeah, but that was way more practical based than the scene with the dragon.
Oh, yeah.
The scene with the dragon had very little practical to it. I mean, there was a lot of compositing. Like, the extras in the arena were all composited in, as best I can tell. Just from my own personal eye, that's what it looked like. Whereas, I know for a fact the extras in the Walk of Atonement were really there.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of money to get the permits to use it and to use that much space and to clothe all the extras. And considering the fact that they all had to have lines and costumes, they may have had to pay them, but I'm not sure, so I don't know. And especially because I saw the casting call for the Flasher, who flashed Cersei in the Walk of Atonement, and it was like, we're looking for somebody who can be in Croatia by 6 a.m. tomorrow. So when you have like that sort of deadline, I'm sure money exchanged hands for that sort of thing, you know?
Yeah, and I'm sure the actor you get to show up in Croatia in a day is going to be an interesting fellow, to say the least.
Yeah. So, to the actual what we thought of the season. For me, I'm mostly just Snorefest. Great, because the way I look at it is, from season 4 till now, we waited a year. We got 4 episodes. Now we have to wait a whole other year.
Yeah, I mean...
That's kind of a shoddy deal, really. Meh.
That's kind of how Game of Thrones is sometimes.
Yeah.
It's better paced, though, than this season. This season, I think what the big problem was is George R.R. Martin... The show is starting to split up with George R.R. Martin because he's not writing the books fast enough for the show. And I get it. Like, it's his baby and, you know, he wants to take time on it. But they have a show to run as well, so they have to appease the viewers so that...
Right.
You know, but this season really could have been paced better with the content given. Like, spend more time on this, spend less time on that.
Right. One way that this season was different than a lot of other seasons is most of the time on Game of Thrones you have one episode that you maybe go somewhere between 3 to 5 different storylines. And there's a lot of characters to pick from. So sometimes you will go a few episodes without seeing certain characters because you're kind of going back and forth, but each character's story arc takes a bigger chunk of the episode. And this season, it was like we were visiting every story arc as they were happening simultaneously throughout each episode. So every person had like a much smaller window of time, and when you're cutting back and forth to like all these small windows of time, it feels like it's dragging on more maybe than it probably is.
Well, on top of that,
That and there's only 10 episodes, which is fine. I'm happier having much better shorter seasons than have like 24 episode seasons that aren't that great. Like, yeah, make them shorter. It's fine.
yeah, and there was a big leak that happened right when the show came out, where 4 episodes were leaked online, and there was a huge deal about it.
There was a huge deal about it, and there was a huge deal about how, oh, well, go ahead and watch it because you're not missing anything.
Yeah, because like those 4 episodes, like you gotta wait weeks, and like literally nothing happened. Like there wasn't anything major that happened in those 4 weeks that the
nobody could spoil it for you.
Right. I mean, one person in Cersei's crew died.
Yeah. And
because
it wasn't really anyone important, was it?
Right, and they teased that Grey Worm was going to die, and I thought that was a little bit more serious, and then it turned out Grey Worm was totally fine.
No, that happened after the 4-week leak. I think that was episode 5 when.
No, that was episode 4.
It was that scene in the alleyway where Daenerys' advisor and Grey Worm were hurt in the alleyway, and the advisor died.
That was episode 4.
So that was like the very last thing that happened. I remember. I felt like that.
No, there were 4 episodes that were leaked.
Yeah.
That was the 4th episode that was leaked, so that was episode 5.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. Yes, episode 5 then. That's what I thought. That's what I said. Okay, anyway. Yeah, I thought that was kind of a big moment that her advisor and Grey Worm both went down at the same time. But then Grey Worm was fine, so he could not have sex with her female advisor chick. And, okay, great. Yay, I don't know.
It's kind of hard for
they didn't do anything with
except
that.
There's no hard to get.
I see what you did there.
There's some unsullied pleasure, the thumb jobs. You've heard about this, right?
Yeah.
The surrogate thumb, where a woman can massage a guy's thumb, and if he has lost half of his body to feel, he essentially transfers the orgasmic feelings that you would get. It's weird. I don't fully understand it. If anybody has a better grasp of this, please let me know, because it is kind of fascinating, but I don't know much about it.
Alright, so I'm going to talk about something that I've been finding very disappointing. She's had her good points and bad points, but Daenerys' rule right now is really bad. I mean, Tyrion coming along is the best thing to happen to her, but her rule is it's not going well, considering the fact that every time she goes anywhere in public, people start murdering each other.
Well,
that's just what happens in her presence all the time now.
Well, so she lost half of the Dothraki. Well, pretty much all the Dothraki,
right.
Like at a certain point, when she set foot in, what's the land called?
Oh, Meereen.
Yeah, when she set foot in Meereen and liberated the slaves and and the Dothraki are just doing their own thing, and I mean there were some Dothraki in the city, but not a lot. Like they hightailed out of there.
Pretty much, yeah.
And pretty much her only leg to stand on is her dragons. And like when she's trying to roll, what do her dragons do? Well, they
one of them's flying around, and the other one is locked up somewhere, or the other 2 are locked up.
Well, she locked 2 of them up because they ate.
That was last season, though.
Yeah, I'm.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they ate a little kid, so yeah, we're talking about how horrible Khaleesi is as a ruler. It goes
No, but I'm
through
saying
like multiple seasons.
Just this season alone, every time she's gone out in public, people have started rioting and killing each other.
Right, that and she had some guys eaten by the dragons.
Some guys eaten, and then she took this dude. Okay, so she took this dude who did nothing wrong and has only been an ally to her and imprisoned him. Then put him in a situation where he had to watch other men get eaten in front of him.
Well,
so then to have him get eaten if he didn't marry her, and I'm sorry, dude, look at this for a minute. If Khaleesi was a dude, where, like, that would be horrifying. It'd be like, oh my god, he's such a bastard, blah blah blah. You know, how dare he do that to a woman? But it's not like it's any less horrible when Daenerys does it to a dude who's done nothing wrong to her until he tried to kill her afterwards because he didn't want to be married to her.
Well, to be fair, a lot of his suggestions were terrible. Like, you know, because she made the fatal mistake of any new ruler that's trying to please everybody. She was definitely Bill Clintoning it, where it was like, you know, you're trying to please everybody. You know, I mean, you could kind of say the same thing about Barack Obama right now, but this is not a politics show. However, there is politics in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, he made horrible suggestions like the fighting pits, but like he also
he was right about the fighting pits though.
That it brought the city together.
Yeah, because he was the one who suggested, hey, have free men fight in the fighting pit, so only the people who want to fight
But
can
he
fight.
also made the suggestion that some people should allow themselves to be slaves and stuff.
No, that's true. And yeah, he wasn't great, but he didn't do anything bad to her.
Well,
he wasn't a menace. He wasn't.
Well, she's got fucking dragons. And then, like, a really cool, badass assassin dude that they totally changed the actor to.
Yeah, that was awkward.
Yeah, like, okay, what the fuck, Game of Thrones? Like, you changed actors for the Mountain. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, let's face it, that the guy that they chose to be the new Mountain, yeah, he's fucking intimidating.
Yeah.
But they changed the actor for the Mountain, but they also changed the actor for Khaleesi's right-hand man. I forget what his name is, but he's like the really cool assassin dude that cut off the heads of...
her lover dude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was like that long-haired, like kind of blondish dude. Like that's the same character.
Okay.
They just changed the look of him. Like dramatically.
But now, right now, she's been kidnapped by her dragon like a freaking princess. She was kidnapped by her own damn dragon. Now she's lost in the middle of nowhere with Dothraki surrounding her.
She wasn't kidnapped by her dragon.
Yes, she was.
No, it's a little bit more complicated than that because, like, she actually asked her dragon to fly away, and she didn't tell the dragon where to go.
No, I get that, but now that she's trying to go back, the dragon's like, no, we're just gonna hang out here. You don't know where you are, I don't know where we are, we're just gonna hang out here.
Yeah.
So now she's kind of helpless and surrounded by all these Dothraki. Well, the best thing that happened to her is just kind of sitting rather impotently in her throne room, just like, dude, what the fuck do I do now? You know, that sucks.
And then she gets surrounded by Dothraki, which may or may not be a bad thing.
Right,
I'm not
really
sure
know at this point.
Please, if you've read the books, don't spoil it.
Well, at this point, they've altered so much from the books that even if you know what happens in the books, it doesn't mean that much.
It's kind of like The Walking Dead. I mean, I will say The Walking Dead, great comic series. The show has its ups and downs.
Yeah.
It goes all over the place. But, so... We talked about Daenerys. Let's talk about Cersei. Cersei's plotline.
Yeah, I was a little shocked when an author from Vice, a journalist from Vice, said he didn't find it particularly satisfying when she's in the prison slurping water off the floor, because I saw that, I was like, yes! That sounds terrible, but really, she deserved it.
Yeah.
She's deserved it for a long time to know what it really is like to struggle for anything. And seeing her locked up, denied food and water, I was totally okay with it. I was okay with it. And it was satisfying to see her humbled. Although now we know she's not humbled at all, which is fascinating. I'm cool with that.
Oh, Cersei is going to be
worse than ever.
Oh my god. I mean, like, so she's probably going to this is probably going to be her downfall, though, because she's going to be so no, because not only did that happen, but Jamie went to go get their daughter. And so
shit.
she's gonna be going after Tyrion, because Tyrion is the one who sold her off.
Well, Tyrion sold off the daughter, and she either believes or doesn't believe, but she's still trying to say that he killed Joffrey. That's still there too. That didn't go away ever. So there's that as well. Plus, he killed their dad. There's that too.
I forget that she still thinks that. Okay.
I honestly don't know if she really thinks that, or if she's just trying to blame him for it. But either way.
But this one.
Yeah.
Like, she can totally blame on Tyrion with her logic.
Right, of course. But now she's got 2 out of 3 kids dead. That's a pretty big deal. And now she's going to be all pissy at Jamie, although I'm waiting to see what that seems like when he comes home to her and it's just like, she died in my arms. There was nothing I could do. Oh my god, that scene is going to be...
Well, Cersei is going to literally be foaming out the mouth by that point.
Yeah.
You know? Like, yeah. We're probably going to see a lot of people get killed. By Cersei's rule.
Well, I thought it was really cool that they tried to have her allied with somebody who turned against her. I thought that was really interesting. I've thought the religion aspect with the Sparrows is really interesting as well. But prolonging her time in prison and then having a really long extended scene for the Walk of Atonement was very deserved.
Yeah.
I thought it was fantastic. And
yeah,
it was... I don't feel sympathy for her, necessarily. I'm not really quite there yet, but she doesn't really have any good qualities to speak of. But it's not like you're like, yeah, throw feces at her, woohoo, she's bleeding on her feet, that's awesome. It's not like that either. It's a very muddled, mixed emotion I get when I see it, which is interesting. I like it when I don't know how to feel.
Yeah. Also, a really interesting thing was this was building up for a long time of Stannis trying to get to the throne, and that all fucked up.
Yeah. Let's talk about that, because that was a big deal in the last few episodes. Because let's see, in about the space of maybe 10 minutes. Really? Okay, no.
No, it was super short. I was looking at the time.
No, it was, but I'm saying, I'm trying to put together the amount of time throughout the season, because it really only happened at the very last half of the second to last episode and the beginning 10 minutes of the last episode, where half of his men were killed and set on fire. He sent his advisor dude away. He burned his daughter at the stake, which I believe Melisandre was really trying to just test his limits to see how far he's going to go for her, because the safety of his daughter was his absolute limit. So she tested him and he passed because he still did it. Then, out of nowhere, his men deserted him because they see what he does to his own family. His wife killed herself. Melisandre just up and left. She just fucking left. Nothing. She's gone. And then he still tried to go in anyway. When he got slaughtered, he was like, yeah, fucking kill me.
Yeah, and he was killed by Brienne of Tarth because he was responsible for killing his brother Renly.
So that karmically bit him in the ass.
With it was the smoke monster that had the face of him that Melisandre popped out.
So it's like everything that had been building up for the whole series, all of his wrongdoings caught up to him at the same time, and he had no moral defense for himself anymore now that Melisandre was gone.
Yeah, I really wish that scene had been longer. Like, it felt super rushed. Like, that's one of the reasons why this season just bothered me, because the pacing...
I'm sorry, but out of the major moments that happened, White Walkers, big fan favorite. Cersei, big fan favorite. Jon Snow, big fan favorite. Stannis? How many people really gave a shit about Stannis when Melisandre was naked?
The Stannis stuff fed into Stannis fed into the Jon Snow.
Yes, but he's not Jon Snow.
Right. But speaking of Brienne of Tarth, when she was doing that, Sansa and Reek pushed Miranda off.
That was a brutal death. I liked how blunt it was. It was just like, no.
Well, yeah, Theon Greyjoy, aka
that was a good
Reek.
effect.
Yeah, that was really good. Kind of wish we had that with Stannis instead, though.
Yeah, like we didn't even get to see anything. That sucked.
Right. Instead, we just see Ramsay, cutting off.
It was a good cross edit, but
match cut.
Match cut. That's what I meant. Match cut. But yeah, story wise, not very compelling.
Yeah, but and let's talk about Sansa, because we devoted an entire, what was it, 40-50 minute podcast just on one scene. Yeah. So
everything we said in that podcast stands. Insert here.
Well, actually, I do have.
Well, we can talk about what happened after that scene, but I'm saying we tore that scene apart pretty well. Let's just keep going.
Yeah. If you want to hear us talk about rape for 40 minutes, we were talking about like the context and.
No, I know, but after that scene.
After that scene, I had thought that things weren't as bad as they were because we didn't see anything, but like the next episode, we see the makeup, we see
we see Ramsay. Don't see anything.
Well, yes, I mean, like nothing.
There's lots of good implication without beating you over the head with it more than they already did in that other scene.
Almost all the violence towards women this season was done off camera.
Right, exactly. But it was kind of obnoxious because after that scene, I was waiting for her to start doing stuff, but she was, asking Theon to save her, which is what the other girl in the book did. The girl who was in her place did the same thing. But I wasn't expecting that from Sansa. Yeah, exactly. And Sansa and the other character are not the same character, especially the way they've been building it in the show.
Plus,
now all of a sudden, Sansa, who spent the whole season not accepting anybody's help, knowing what she was doing, like preparing herself for what she was getting into, now all of a sudden it's too much, and now Theon needs to help her, but she can't ask Brienne for help, not because she doesn't want to, but because she can't make it happen, and she steals like the little tool, but she doesn't attack anybody, she just picks a lock with it, which is fine, because at least by that point she was escaping, but it's like, how long did it take for that to happen? And it's just like, dude, where did your agency go? You're an adult fucking woman at this point.
That's not fully true because she did light the candle. That candle was for Brienne.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not because she didn't want to or she wasn't trying. It's because she couldn't. Because Theon thwarted her, and then she tried to do it, and she couldn't make it up to the tower to light the candle, and then Brienne didn't see it anyway, so...
Because she was, hell-bent on vengeance.
At least in that scene, when she did finally break out of her room, she finally broke out of the room, she tried to ask Brienne for help, but then she saw, oh hey, there's a war going on. Hey! There's a distraction. I can try to escape. And she did try to escape, which is what I was hoping would happen. So that was really good that at least they got there. It's just like, dude, you took 3 episodes to get there, and what was going on in the meantime when she literally was stuck in her room all day, every day?
Well, that and I know a lot of people have complained about Sansa's character, but like, what has she been besides a victim?
Well,
like,
that's why people were upset, was because she had finally gotten out of that role and then was just sort of put back into it. Yeah. But to be fair, that happens in real life too.
No,
people
it does.
Try to get out of situations and they get pushed right back into it.
Yeah, it's really realistic. I'm not saying that the show shouldn't have done that. I'm just saying that it's kind of annoying to see, like, the same character. Like, it couldn't have been, like, a different character. Well, the book did it, but, it could...
Right, but then you have to establish this whole other character with this whole other backstory that was cut out. Anyways, from the whole rest of the show, it wouldn't have worked.
It would have worked because the pacing was already bad. You could have, you could have done something different.
No, but the character was, like, a childhood friend of Sansa's and Arya's, so you would have to go all the way back to the first season when they were still a family together. That's where it gets really confusing. It's like everything you've already established from the first 4 seasons goes against this character existing.
Well, I mean, but they've added characters that we have seen very little of, and then made them established characters. I mean, look at the new king right now. Cersei's
Joffrey's
son.
brother? Yeah. Mini Joffrey. I don't even know what his name is.
No, he's not Mini Joffrey because he's not a dick. He looks like Mini...
Personality-wise, no, but look-wise, he looks like Mini Joffrey.
Okay.
Good casting call. They look like brothers.
Yeah.
I'll say that for sure. They look like inbred brothers. Not really. I'm not trying to say they look ugly. I'm just making a point that in the show they're inbred. They look that similar.
And,
yeah. Let's talk about Arya.
Yeah, Arya was really interesting. The little cult of the god with no face. Or the god of many faces?
The god of many faces. Yeah, and I have to admit, I really have not been enjoying the storyline at all. Not because of any ethical, no. And it's not like I'm upset about it either. It's just, I'm not liking it. I don't like this cult at all. I don't like Arya being a part of it. It doesn't seem to fit her character very well, and it's the whole rest of the world of Game of Thrones, and I get, like, this is where the cultiness comes from. I get it. But this is why I don't like it. Like, why I don't enjoy these story arcs is, in Game of Thrones, life is cheap, but it's precious. Life can go out like that. But everybody cares a lot about life, and death is a big deal. Nobody wants to die. And yeah, there's sacrifices, but even that has, like, sort of a grandeur to it, It's still like, shit, death. And this cult just deals with death so passively, just doling out, how do you say, euthanasia, just quietly and with no fuss, and just directly lying to people about it, and I don't like that, and I don't like that Arya's a part of that, because morally I don't get how that's acceptable to her. That's the thing I'm just like, why is Arya... I get that she wants to have the power of the many faces. I totally get that. I get this concept that she'll do anything to get it. I get that. But she wants to kill people who have done major wrong. She wants to cause them pain and punishment, and yet she does lie in order to peacefully kill people by telling them that it'll save them and heal them. That makes no sense to me, or how that works with her moral compass.
Yeah. Well,
I don't like seeing her letting herself get physically punished and whipped all the time. She's better than that.
I do think it's
Stronger than that. Damn
I
it.
do think that it's interesting though, because this cult is kind of like a parallel to the White Walkers. Because think of it, the White Walkers resurrect the dead.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so they recycle what has passed.
Sure. Okay, I'm with you.
And so this cult does it not to create a massive zombie army, a la Jason and the Argonauts, because yeah, we can get to that a little bit later. But they have this power to essentially recycle the faces of the people that have fallen, and that's what this that's what each body going into.
But they have
this,
no sanctity for the life or the body that face came from, and I get that that's the point, but I don't like that.
Well, Arya's dead now.
What? No, she's blind.
No, Arya is dead. She is no one now.
That doesn't mean she's dead.
Yes, but from
Also,
a certain
she's
point
not
of view,
no one. She's
Star
been
Wars.
punished. She's been punished, and now she's blinded, which apparently they went into that in the books, but really they don't really explain in the TV show how that quite happened, but they will later, I'm sure, whatever, it doesn't matter. She's blinded now as a punishment for not being no one and for... And this I just thought was funny. I thought this was hilarious. That, okay, Arya, how dare you kill a pedophile? Don't you know this is Game of Thrones? The people who get killed should never deserve to die. Go kill that old man who's gonna kick the bucket in a week anyway. That is kind of a funny situation. Come on.
well, that guy was kind of a dick, and he might have done worse stuff.
The old
Maybe
dude?
Maybe not like
No,
pedophile bad. But
No, I
like-
know, but like he's an old geezer. He's gonna die anyway, like soon. You know, at least the other dude was a murderer and a serial pedophiler who liked to beat and abuse children. And he was alive and well and healthy and perfectly indulging in all these horrible things. So, you know, the world is actually kind of a little bit better off without him. Although, really, it's Game of Thrones. That's everywhere. But I just thought that was a funny situation. You know, how dare you not kill this one old guy you don't know? And instead kill somebody who deserves it.
Well, she lost her eyes.
And by the way, I'm saying this purely from the stance that he is a fictional character in a fictional world. This rhetoric does not apply to real world people. I'm saying in fantasy land, which is what Game of Thrones is.
Well, she lost her eyes because she took she stabbed the pedophile guy in the eyes. That also killed her master as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, I put murderer in there. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, that makes sense karmically. I get that. That's why she went blind. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
So, let's talk about the best part of this season, which is Jon Snow's arc.
Yeah, so the White Wall.
Yeah.
The White Wall. Which is pretty
White
much
Wall? What?
the wall.
Okay, the wall.
Yeah, the wall.
Yeah.
I guess it's not the White Wall. I think I blurred the White Walkers and the wall together, but
Yeah.
it is a white wall anyway. It's not like I'm wrong.
No.
It's still a big wall of ice and snow.
Fuck the Night's Watch. Yeah, fuck them. I hope they get annihilated. Every single one of them. I hope they fucking die. But let's go back.
Yeah, let's go back. Because pretty much any action that was happening in the early part of the season was happening at the wall. It
Yeah.
was actually building up towards something. And I thought they actually did it a lot of justice. I thought Jon Snow went out and it was fine. I heard some people complain like, oh my god, how dare you not make it more epic? And it's like, well, you only devoted a whole season to his downfall. And then, you know...
It would have been better if they had made certain arcs episode long or
I agree.
something.
I agree, but they made the key point of his death the longest and biggest part of any of the episodes.
I think
Which
Cersei's
is
walk was
no.
a little bit longer.
No, it wasn't longer because the White Walker scene was like a half of an episode.
Oh, you're talking about the White Walker scene.
That's what I'm saying. That was the key point to his death because, yes, everybody in the... No, not everybody, but like half of the Night's Watch didn't really want him to be their leader, and they thought he just wanted to fuck all the wildlings and whatever. And then a lot of people were really unhappy about this idea of the Night's Watch and the wildlings getting together and being allies. A lot of people weren't into that. So then when Jon Snow specifically tried to make that happen, took a bunch of the wildlings and a bunch of the Night Watch to all get together and have a powwow about being allies, most of them got wiped out by the White Walkers. And that was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Was that the straw that broke the camel's back, or was it Stannis that broke the camel's back?
No, it was the White Walkers, because once he returned and most everybody was dead and turned into zombies, specifically because of this action they didn't want Jon Snow to do anyways, that showed them he's a bad leader. He's gotta go. He doesn't have our best interests at heart if his specific actions are directly getting us murdered by this thing that's going to destroy the world.
Yeah, and that death was hard.
That death was hard, but I liked it. Like,
yeah.
As much as you can like something you hate.
Right. I will say that was the single most shocking moment in the entire season. Like, every season has one.
Or more.
Yeah, I mean, season 4 had 2.
It was worthy of a season capper.
Yeah.
If that's going to be the one last thing we carry with us until the next season.
Right.
That's a good one.
So,
I feel bad for that actor, though. Poor guy.
Kit
Harington or something? Yeah, Kit. Because they pretty much just came up and told him, hey, Jon Snow's dying, you're gonna be gone now. And he was like, oh man, what?
Yeah.
That sucks. But oh well.
Well, you know, you're related to Sean Bean. You go out like Sean Bean. Sean Bean, the Sean Bean bloodline is contagious.
Yeah, pretty much. I like the traitor thing. I like the thing with Ollie, his page. Or his squire. I don't know if he's a page or a squire. I think
he's the one who killed. He's the one who killed his girl too.
No.
Yes.
Wait, Ollie's the one who killed the wildling chick? Oh, yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, shot her with the arrow. Remember, because
I
he
remember
couldn't
the
kill
shooting
her.
with the arrow, but mostly what I remember is the yay feeling I had when she died.
Oh, see, I
hated their romance, so I was just like, yes.
I didn't. I'm sorry. I like their romance.
I liked their individual characters, but their romance was so fucking high school.
I don't know. I mean, it worked more in the books just because Jon Snow was younger.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean,
I liked her though. I just didn't like her with him.
Yeah. So,
we still haven't seen Brandon Stark for like 2.5 seasons. Yay! I hate that character. It's this stupid story arc. The best thing he has going for him is Hodor, and we haven't seen any of them for seasons.
What's the name of the other chick?
Oh, the chick's pretty cool, yeah, but like, oh god, Brandon is so obnoxious, and their storyline goes nowhere, and he doesn't do anything. Wait. His storyline doesn't seem to go anywhere. But he's not a compelling character or anything either. I don't root for him, so every time he comes on screen, I'm just like, we have to like sit around with this, like we have to babysit this little kid? Great. And the last time I saw him, things finally got interesting because he touched the tree, the big white tree, and he had visions and shit. And then it's been like 2.5 seasons since then. And I'm okay with that. I want to postpone that for as long as possible. If we never get back to that, I'll be fine. I really don't care. I don't know why they're doing that, but I'm fine.
Yeah, and he's one character, he's one actor that you could totally replace the actor in. Like,
nobody would notice.
Nobody would notice. Now, I definitely noticed with Khaleesi's protector because the two actors are dramatically different looking.
Well, right, but with the kid, the other thing too is they probably have to change him because he's probably too old looking now. Not like he's old, but I'm saying like he was at that age where kids start growing up real quick.
Oh, kind of like Walt and Lost. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw like his growth spurt, but like he apparently had like a phenomenal growth spurt where like
But exactly,
Yeah.
yes. He's right at the peak age for that to happen, and that won't fit the timeline of Game of Thrones because unlike Downton Abbey, each season isn't like years and years. You know what I mean? It's not playing out in real time. It's in their fantasy time, so everything's a lot faster than it really seems to us. So he would still have to be pretty much that same age whenever we get back to him, but the actor will be too old by then. I think.
or they might have shot the stuff already.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, so
Yeah. Like How I Met Your Mother, I guess. They did that with his kids because his kids were there in the first couple episodes. But then, it's 7 years later by the time they get to the end. So they've filmed a bunch of different scenarios
okay.
with the kids. So they're the same age. 7 years later.
Yeah, you can have that show.
That's fine.
Yeah, but do you have anything you're excited for season?
I'm
6?
excited to see what happened when Jamie comes back to Cersei.
Yeah, and I think the mountain
Sam
is
and
what.
Gilly! Sam and Gilly, that scene was fucking adorable.
Oh, yeah. Sam got laid, which yeah, he's part of the Night's Watch. He might.
Well,
need to
he
watch
left
out.
now.
Yeah, he left.
Yeah. Which was a part of Jon Snow's story arc more than anything was Jon Snow being abandoned and alone.
But
yeah.
I don't know. I don't see things going well for him either.
Well,
And the reason being is
not for him, but for Gilly. Good things do not happen to Gilly, and he is with Gilly now. That's just a thing.
he's part of the Night's Watch. They take a vow, and that vow says that they can't be with women.
But he left.
Yes, he left to go with the Maesters, which means that they know where he is. He no longer has Jon Snow to protect him. He might have,
He might have to come back. He might be drafted.
they might come to him.
Ooh. Wait, they would leave the wall?
Some of them,
Some of them? Okay.
I don't know what the Night's Watch will do, for people that, because yes, they did talk about, they did have these arguments and stuff like that about Jon Snow and whether what he did was right or wrong and stuff like that, but eventually they just came with it was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and yeah, he paid for sleeping with the White Walker chick. I mean, not the Wildling chick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I'm hoping that there is an episode where the White Walkers come to the wall and just kill everybody because fuck them. Like,
Yeah,
seriously,
pretty much.
fuck them.
Now that Sam and Jon Snow are not part of the wall
Yeah.
anymore, and it's just a bunch of people who stabbed Jon Snow and Melisandre, who's had it coming.
Yeah. All right. Controversial statement, but I literally hate the people of the wall more than I hate Ramsay. Yes.
Well, Ramsay hasn't done anything like really horrible for a
What
while.
the fuck? Are you fucking serious?
Yes, I get the whole thing with Sansa, but I'm saying he hasn't been, releasing women into the forest and murdering them with crossbows
Oh,
for a few seasons.
Well, you gotta know in today's society, that kind of thing is the worst thing. But,
No, but that's what I'm saying is like, yeah, he had one scene where he did something terrible. Yeah, it was really bad, but that was one scene. And all the other episodes, he's been pretty tame for Ramsay. I'm not saying for a person. I'm saying
Yeah.
his standard, he's kind of been taking it easy. He hasn't really done anything super terrible for a few episodes.
Well, he ambushed Baratheon, but I mean.
But that
that's
was a
war.
strategic move. That wasn't a, oh my god, he's a sociopath.
Oh, and another great bullshit thing not to show.
Oh yeah, right. His 20 good men. How the fuck did they destroy? I'm sure there's a plausible way to explain it, but how the fuck did that go down?
I mean, it would have been nice to see the camps and them like go and then you switch scenes. Like, okay, you can't have the explosions or like whatever. That's fine. It would have been nice to see him with his men before they do this shit, like setting this shit up to do this shit.
Like either
aftermath.
how they set the fires or how they possibly like
That doesn't seem like
or something.
that doesn't seem like it's that big of a budget constraint to do that.
No, or even a time constraint. Have a little montage. I don't know.
Yeah, I like there's literally some things that I'm just like, why the fuck not spend more time on this? Like, why are you spending so much time on this?
But I'm saying that like compared to Joffrey, where every episode he was one-upping how like sociopathic he was, Ramsay has not one-upped himself for a while.
Yeah, but I would say that Ramses is worse than Joffrey, which,
Yes,
I get
agree.
a lot of people might disagree with me, but, like, let's face it, Joffrey was a little bit naive. Like, yeah, I mean, you can kind of forgive the... You can't forgive, but, like, he was at a younger age, and, like, young kids, like, they just... They act in ways because their morals haven't been set and stuff like that.
He liked to sexually torture prostitutes and murder them. He kills lots of little animals. He stripped Sansa naked and humiliated her in front of her the entire court. Ramsay has not been that extreme of bad for a while.
Ramsay is the older version of Joffrey.
The more mellow one.
Yeah. But I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens with Tyrion and Jorah. And all the people within the city that they're in, after the Sons of the Harpy had their thing. That was a really interesting thing, but like we didn't really have
got dropped somehow.
Yeah, like
after that alleyway scene, we never saw them again.
No, we saw them. No, we did see them when they attacked. They tried to kill Khaleesi.
Oh, yes.
Yes, like
derpy derp.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean they got killed off, but I'm curious if we're going to actually find out who's behind the Sons of the Harpy or whether it doesn't matter. Seeing that it's Game of Thrones, it could go either way, but I would think that there would be somebody behind it.
Yeah.
Who that person is, I'm trying.
Unless it was something like her lover was secretly doing it the whole time or something like that. I don't know that it'll get that much attention.
I don't think
'Cause
Game
we
of
don't
Thrones
know-
is soap opera.
Well, exactly. And there aren't a whole lot of characters in Marin that are not Daenerys or part of her court. You know, people in the city. The main one has already been killed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unclear.
So unless they start slowly introducing a new character, which is a possibility.
Yeah. Plus, you have two dragons that are still in the tower. What happens to them, we're not really sure. Yeah, I mean, what is Tyrion gonna run?
Right
The
now,
place-
Tyrion and Grey Worm are running the place in Daenerys' absence.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean,
We'll see how that goes. Hi, Jinx and Sue.
yeah, I'm really interested how that comes. I don't know, Khaleesi might, join with the Dothraki and, redeem her character, or she might get killed off in the next episode.
Yeah.
It's Game of Thrones. Shit like that happens.
Well,
You think a character's important, they get killed off.
Well, her dragon is still with her. Nothing's gonna happen while her dragon is with her.
Unless her dragon gets killed. Which,
That's what I'm saying. As long as the dragon is alive and with her, nothing's gonna happen to her. If
Or
something
do you
happens
think-
to the dragon, it's different.
do you think the dragon could turn on her?
So far, at this moment, no.
Okay.
Right now, the dragon, he's having his teenage rebellion, but he's not turning against her.
There was that one moment way earlier in the season
Right.
where Drogon almost bit her hand off.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's having his rebellion and finding himself, but
Oh, the angsty years.
yeah, exactly. What about you? What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to the Tyrion Jor rock monster, whatever the fuck he turns into, or how that fucking works. I'm interested in that. Definitely interested to see what happens to the wall. Hopefully, something bad. I'm really interested to see if.
They even killed off the old dude at the wall. Like the nice old dude. He died. So there's like nobody left to like.
Right.
Like even among the wildlings, they killed off the likable characters. Who was still left at the wall?
There was one guy that Jon Snow trained, as well as the redheaded guy. He's a wildling, but he's a very likable character.
Okay, so
I'm
there's
a little worried for
two
him.
likable minor characters who are gonna die.
Maybe
in
the wildlings can
process.
kill them, and then I'll be happy.
Yeah, the wildlings kill the Night's Watch, and then we'll see what happens with the White Walkers and the wildlings.
Yeah. Or the White Walkers can come down to King's Landing. Or
Dude, I loved the mother White Walker.
before
That
she was a White Walker.
Right. Before
Yeah,
she
it
was
was-
a White Walker, she was a mom. Her character was awesome, and she went out like a badass.
Well, she was badass in the movie Martyrs too. I mean, like, I since you haven't seen it, I won't spoil it to you. But like, man, the beginning of that movie starts out with a bang. Like, it's just like, whoa, holy shit! And yeah, I mean, she's a great actress. I hope she's in more stuff because I liked her in Martyrs and I liked her in this.
Yeah.
Kind of wish we saw more of her, but it's Game of Thrones. People die.
For such a short, minor character, she was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, Game of Thrones has to start introducing more lands because pretty much everything on this part of the world is just done. So I'll be really interested to see what characters they add next season.
Yeah, like Dorne, what's gonna happen there? Not much else, unless Cersei specifically tries to kill that shit.
Cersei might fail in that attempt though.
Yeah, exactly.
Because she won in the attempt with getting Oberon's eyes gouged out by the mountain. The mountain might die in the process of trying to take over Dorne.
Yeah.
I think the mountain will take out the fucking Sons of the Sparrow. Or
No,
whatever.
it's just the sparrow.
Yeah, I think the mountain will take out that cult.
Yeah.
Pretty easily too, and I have a feeling that something very bad is going to happen to that woman. That
Shame.
yeah,
Confess. Yeah.
and that's kind of one of those things where like even though it happened to Cersei, like I hate her too.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah. I agree with that.
yeah, so I'm actually looking forward to bad things happening to her.
You know who else is gonna get it?
Yeah.
Her cousin dude who was in the Sparrow in the first place.
Oh
Who
yeah.
spilled the beans about all her shit.
Yeah, the guy who was fucking. What was his name? The Knight of Flowers. That guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever. Oh yeah, he went to jail because he was gay.
Right.
Yeah, the Knight of Flowers, and then Marjorie went to jail.
Yeah, she's
Interested to
gone.
see what happens with.
With her and her mother.
Yeah.
Because I like her mom.
Yeah, I don't know. With Cersei's hell bent.
They may not survive.
Yeah. Likable characters in Game of Thrones don't last very long.
Right. She's been holding out longer than I might have expected because she's smart.
Yeah, but I don't know. Well, thanks for listening, and if you have any remarks or comments or any input that you thought of Game of Thrones, and also if you wanted to address some issues that we may have left out with this season. I mean, it was a big season, a lot of shit happened, so please leave in the comments below or send us an email at allwalksoffilm@gmail.com. That's allwalksoffilm. That's one word ish. However you want to explain that. All lowercase at gmail.com.
Music has been brought to you by Jacob Dean, aka Magic Gambit. You can check out his channel on YouTube, or you can go on SoundCloud. Thanks for listening.